Hey everybody, so today I just wanted to make the next video in the exclusively pumping series here on my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about choosing to exclusively pump. Now I did want to mention really quickly that, not everybody chooses to exclusively pump. Some parents do it out of necessity, and this video is not really about that. This is more actively choosing to exclusively pump. Now, if you're wondering why someone may need to exclusively pump opposed to just choosing to, I will leave my very first exclusively pumping video down below for you guys, where I explain in the beginning of the video a whole bunch of different reasons why moms may choose to exclusively pump. So I'll list that down below, but today I'm just mainly talking about people who are choosing to exclusively pump. So first off, I wanted to start off by saying that exclusively pumping does not need an explanation. I will elaborate on this more in a little bit, but I just wanted to get that out there because I just feel like that is the most important message that I'm trying to relay in this video. But as far as what I wanted to talk about first, a couple of things to keep in mind if you are toying with the idea of choosing to exclusively pump, whether you're an expecting mom, whether you're already nursing and you're just looking to maybe switch over, is to know that it's going to be really hard. It's also very different than nursing, but it's going to be worth it. Just in the same ways as nursing has trials, exclusively pumping also has trials, but in the end, it's always worth it. Another thing to keep in mind is that a lot of women do it. It just may not seem like it. I know when I started exclusively pumping, I was like, this is not a thing and nobody does this. I'm alone in it. Where am I going to get advice from? But I found support groups and I found that I was not alone at all. There are thousands upon thousands of women who do this, and I feel like the more that the information about exclusively pumping gets out, the more people understand that it actually is a thing, the more people are actively choosing to exclusively pump. So don't worry about feeling alone, because there's definitely a lot of us out here. We've got your back. We can help you out. As always, I will link the breastfeeding support groups down below. I'll have ones that are more EP specific and other ones that are pumping and nursing moms, a whole bunch of different stuff. I know there are some women who are a little bit sensitive to the nursing subject, so I will list a Facebook group down below that only allows exclusive pumpers, so you won't have to see nursing posts or photos or anything like that. I'm not sure why this is, but I feel like when choosing to exclusively pump, there is judgment with it. I don't understand why, like I said, but there is. I got some sideways comments. I got, some different looks. I even got just a couple outright, like, that's dumb. Why would you do that? Like I said in the beginning of the video, you do not owe anybody an explanation, but just know that it's probably going to happen, but just brush it off. I mean, those people are either one of two things. They're not minding their own business, that, or they're not educated in exclusively pumping. They may not just understand what it is. If someone's not getting where you're coming from, just try to explain it to them. And if you see that you're doing that, but it's more of them just being ignorant, don't waste your time. Don't worry about trying to change their judgments on what you're doing, because it doesn't matter anyways. Obviously, they've got something going on in their life that they're unhappy with to focus so much on your decisions. Just try to pay those people no mind if they're just trying to be ignorant towards you. And with that being said, I feel like you should always do what's best for you and your family. So if that happens to be exclusively pumping, don't feel bad about it. Parenting is super hard, and worrying about what everybody else is going to say, it only adds further complications and stress. So really just try to focus on what works for you and your family, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And lastly, before I get into the reasons of why I'm exclusively pumping and why I chose to do it this time around, is that it is your body, it's your boobs, it's your decision. So that's why I keep saying you don't owe anybody an explanation, because it is your boobs, it is your body, it is your decision. Nobody else is going to be hooking up to that pump and doing that for you. So if you feel like that's what's the best decision for you, for your family, if it's just what you want to do, do it. Now, as far as the reasons of why I chose to exclusively pump this time around, if you're new to my channel or my videos, just to quickly explain, with my oldest, I did not choose to exclusively pump. She had a severe lip tie that just made nursing impossible, so it was more out of necessity than it was just out of me electively choosing to exclusively pump. However, this time around with our youngest Remy, I am choosing to exclusively pump. I decided this, I think, even before I was pregnant. It just, in my experience with Sophie and exclusively pumping, I had decided it. So when I was pregnant, towards my end of my pregnancy, I just always knew that this was eventually what I was going to do. And the reasons why I chose to exclusively pump is that it is too overwhelming for me to do both nursing and to pump. And I guess maybe I should address why I chose not to just exclusively nurse. And that's just because, I don't know, it's not my jam. I can't hang with it. I also feel like I have a very natural oversupply, and I would have had to eventually pump for relief or something. And then it just leads me into my next point, which pumping and nursing is too complicated for me. It's too overwhelming. It's something that really stresses me out, and it really just brings me down. When I came home from the hospital with Remy and I had to pump and nurse, I felt like I was nursing and then I would lay her down, I would pump for 45 minutes, and then I'd have like 45 minutes to an hour before I'd have to nurse again. It was too much. It was overwhelming, and I honestly felt like it was sucking the life out of me, and I couldn't do anything nice. I felt like I couldn't do anything other than nurse and pump. So I don't know, it doesn't work for me. And guess what? That was Pump Log telling me to pump. Not now, Pump Log. Hush. Okay, anyways. Also, exclusively pumping just works better for my family. I am a stay-at-home mom, so I do have the privilege of being here all day long and, you know, being able to stop my day to go and pump when I need to. I also am able to just, I don't know, I feel like obviously it's a ton easier when you're in your own home to pump all the time. So it does work better for me in that sense. Also, I'm more experienced in it, but so is Mark. And that's another reason why it does make it easier for me and my family, is because when I need a pump part or I need some advice, or I kind of just, I don't know, I just feel like any kind of trouble I have with exclusively pumping, I feel like Mark is knowledgeable in it and he can help me, and he really does help me through some of the difficult times. Some of the very difficult times I've had with exclusively pumping, he's always been there for me, and he knows that I have to keep to a schedule, that I have to put my milk away, that he just knows all the ins and outs of exclusively pumping from what we went through with Sophie and doing that for so long, and I feel like it's just kind of become second nature for him as well. Although I will say that the man is super knowledgeable and just breastfeeding in general. When I was nursing Sophie in the hospital, he remembered more than I did. He was like, here, let me put your nipple shield on for you because you're not doing it right. He's super amazing, and I love him to death. Like, I couldn't have a better husband, honestly. But I just feel like because I'm more experienced in it, so is Mark, so is just my family in general, and our family's, typical day and routine, it just works better. And I kind of mentioned this, and it kind of goes hand in hand, but with being more experienced in something, you also understand it better. So I don't really understand nursing whatsoever. I really have no idea what nursing is about. And I mean, I know that part of that has to do with me. I could educate myself on nursing. I could get more well-rounded in it, and I could do better into nursing, but I feel like that just kind of ties into my first point, which ties into my last point. That is, I just personally prefer to exclusively pump. I don't know what it is. I can't break it down for you any simpler than I just personally prefer it. And that's the reason why I don't really feel the need to try to nurse longer, or to want to exclusively nurse, or to teach myself more about it. I mean, maybe I would like to teach myself more so I could help other people, but for myself personally, I'm not interested in trying to learn, just because I do like to exclusively pump. I think I might be one of the few people who do not mind hooking up to my pump. I don't really hate pumping. It doesn't really bug me at all. And I feel like I enjoy it because of all the points that I've already made and why I chose it. So I'm very comfortable in my decision to exclusively pump. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I have gotten sideways comments and, different judgments from a whole bunch of different people, but I honestly couldn't care less. I let it go in one ear and out the other and just roll off my shoulders. You know, like I said, it's my body, and at the end of the day, I'm the one who's doing this, and my husband supports me, and I have friends who support me, so that's really all that matters. And I hope that you guys can feel the same. If you don't feel it now, I do hope that you feel it in the near future, because I know it is frustrating when you want to do something but you know you can't seem to get the support in it, or people don't understand you, or whatever it may be. But just know that you're not alone, that you know people are choosing to do this, that there is information out there, that you can be successful in it, that you're not odd, or you know, none of that stuff. But I think that wraps up just about everything for this exclusively pumping video. I did want to ask you guys if you had any requests for this series. I still have a ton more coming for you guys, but I did want to see if you guys had any ideas that I hadn't thought of. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.